It's the 25th day of May 2025, so pleased to have you on board on KUTV News at 9. And this specifically is KUTV Weekend Live. We have a lot in store for you today in terms of politics, that is in health and in social issues. But first, before we get into informing you, let's get an introduction.
This is Weekend Live with Anyango, Sylvia.
That's right. On the sign language interpretation tonight is Brian Perry. Remember, KUTV Weekend Live is also coming to you live on YouTube, also at KUTV News Kenya, and you can also engage with us on X at KUTV_Kenya at Anyango Sylvia KE. We begin. Now, President William Ruto has conveyed his heartfelt condolences to the residents of Kibra following the devastating fire tragedy that claimed lives and destroyed homes. Speaking today, President Ruto assured the affected families of the government's full support, including covering all necessary costs associated with the tragedy. The president reiterated his administration's commitment to ensuring that the affordable housing units currently under construction in the area will be allocated exclusively to Kibra residents.
In a series of activities today, President William Ruto has promised to stand together with the families that lost their loved ones and properties in yesterday's fire incident in Kibera. He also assured the residents the affordable houses being constructed will solely be occupied by its residents.
Pole kwa hii mkasa wa moto, na tunajua ya kwamba kuna watu wameteketea kwa moto, kuna wengine wako hospitali, na kuna wale mmeachwa nyuma mkiwa mmepoteza ndugu zenu. Serikali tutagharimia ile gharama yote ambayo inatakikana. Watakaopata nyumba ikiwa tayari ni watu ambao wanaishi hapa. Wewe ambaye umeishi kwenye nyumba haina choo, sewage inapitia hapo nje, haina stima mzuri, haina maji, wewe sasa ile nyumba ikiwa tayari, wewe ndio utaenda kuishi hapo number 1. Kama kuna mtu atatoka mahali pengine ni baadaye.
While attending church service at Africa Inland Church in Kibera, the head of state pledged towards the renovation and modernization of the church in the area. The president was informed about the church's dilapidated state, including a leaking roof, a condition that has persisted since the church was damaged during the 2007 post-election violence.
This is the time ya kujenga kanisa la Mungu hapa Kibera na sehemu zingine zote, na mimi nataka niwahakikishie ya kwamba hiyo kazi ya ujenzi wa kanisa la Mungu tutafanya kwa ushirikiano pamoja na wote ambao wako tayari tufanye kazi pamoja.
Ruto highlighted his engagement with communities and his ongoing commitments to national development. In addition to his church visit, Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja has urged President Ruto to direct the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority to reduce electricity tariffs in slum areas, highlighting ongoing challenges faced by residents in informal settlements.
Na kwa ushirikiano kwa pamoja, kwa kufanya kazi kwa kuelewana na sote tutafaulu tukiwa pamoja. Let us not waste time focusing on people who have no plan, who have no agenda, and who have no vision.
Mingi ni illegal power connections, ambazo hizo illegal power connections zinafanya kutomeke because of the substandard cables that are used and the substandard equipment. Your Excellency, tumekuwa tukiomba. These illegal connections in the city have been there. If you can't beat them, join them. Nikamwambia atafute hawa watu ambao wanauzia wananchi stima in our informal settlements. Awatafute. Tuwapunguzie tariff ya stima. Alafu tuwapatie vifaa ambao vinafaa wawe distributors. Otherwise, we'll have a fire each and every day.
Ruto has urged people not to waste time on focusing on people who have no agenda and vision, calling on leaders to focus on transforming the country. Brenda Nyongesa, KUTV.
Now, Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki appears to be solidifying his political foothold in the Mount Kenya region, leveraging active tours, project inspections, and government programs to boost his influence. As our reporter Blue Smile Hassan reports, Kindiki's efforts come amid fierce opposition from his predecessor, that is Rigathi Gachagua, who has accused the state of marginalizing his allies and undermining his Democratic Citizens Party DCP.
Many have mistaken his humbleness as political weakness. However, recent events have propelled Professor Kithure Kindiki into prominence, making his role as deputy president particularly influential in Mount Kenya's political landscape.
Lazima hii safari tusafiri pamoja.
Though dubbed as Mr. Yes Sir, Deputy President Kithure Kindiki continues to surprise his critics. He has been touring the Mount Kenya region, inspecting development projects and implementing his now famous empowerment projects, where women and boda riders are empowered. The projects are enhancing his popularity in the region, despite perceptions that the Ruto government lacks strong support in the Mount Kenya region.
Wengine wetu tumezoea siku ya kuomba kura during campaign. Ndio unatambua kuna mtu anaitwa mama mboga. Unamnunulia apron ya shilingi 100, anakuimbia, baada ya kupigwa kura unatoroka. Sisi tumesema hivi, lazima tutembee na wananchi wote, wale wako na pesa, wale pesa yao ni kidogo. Sisi zote ni nchi moja na sisi zote ni Wakenya.
Kindiki faces significant opposition from his predecessor Rigathi Gachagua, who frequently criticizes him, with Gachagua's recent attacks, including allegations against Kindiki's empowerment projects, and claims that MPs backing Kindiki and President Ruto are betraying the mountain.
Shida yetu kubwa kama jamii ni wasaliti. Akunyanilia rule, huyu Ruto hangeangaisha sisi kama haingekuwa ni wasaliti wa jamii.
Despite this, Kindiki's influence in Mount Kenya appears to be unstoppable. Commanding large crowds at his meetings, he's also reported to have more MPs supporting him and defending him than even Rigathi Gachagua.
Basi nikuja niambie watu wageni, serikali inafanya kazi, tuache kusikiza uongo na mambo zingine mingi, tuongee ukweli, kitu tunaona na kitu tunaweza uza.
Kindiki has also expressed his ambitions to succeed President Ruto after his 2 terms, with close allies of the president praising Kindiki's loyalty and support. But standing out is Kindiki's growing political muscle in Mount Kenya ahead of the 2027 election. Blue Smile Hassan, KUTV.
Now, still on attacks on former Deputy President, the Cabinet Secretary for Information, Communication and Digital Economy, William Kabogo, has launched a scathing criticism against former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, now accusing him of inciting and dividing Mount Kenya residents along ethnic lines. Kabogo condemned Gachagua's recent remarks, referencing the 2007 election violence, calling them irresponsible and dangerous. The CS emphasized that the Mount Kenya region is a home for all Kenyans, celebrating its diversity and inclusivity. In a bold statement, Kabogo alleged that his own opponent as Cabinet Secretary was, his own appointment rather, as Cabinet Secretary was only possible because Gachagua had been ousted from government, highlighting political tensions in the region.
Na ujue nimeingia nafasi ya hii kiti kwa sababu yule fala alitolewa. Because huyo fala angekaa ndani mimi singepata nafasi.
Now, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has downplayed claims that his camp is under political siege, asserting that his broader Mount Kenya community is the real target of the alleged political machinations. Speaking during a service at the African Independent Pentecostal Church of Africa in Kihoya in Murang'a County, Gachagua condemned what he termed as police interference in a democratic for Citizens Party, that is DCP, popularization tour in Kakamega on Saturday. He accused the state of weaponizing public institutions to suppress opposition voices. The former DP also criticized allies of President William Ruto for labeling DCP a tribal outfit, defending his party's national outlook and mission. In a direct jab at Deputy President Kithure Kindiki, Gachagua dismissed a recent meeting between Mount Kenya musicians and the DP, alleging they were paid to mislead the public regarding the Social Health Authority initiative.
Akunyanilia rure, huyu Ruto hangeangaisha sisi kama haingekuwa ni wasaliti wa jamii. Na mimi nataka munisaidie.
Now, former Gender Cabinet Secretary Aisha Jumwa has joined Tana River County leaders and elders in strongly opposing the proposed plan to extend the boundary of Garissa County to the main river Tana. Speaking at a community meeting, Jumwa, alongside the former Tana River woman representative Rehema Hassan, described the plan as insightful and a threat to the nation's unity and cohesion.
Aisha Jumwa, who currently serves as the non-executive chairperson of the Kenya Roads Board, attended a Thanksgiving ceremony at Mikinduni village in Hola. The event, originally organized to celebrate Rehema Hassan's appointment as non-executive director at KenGen, quickly turned into a platform for land boundary activism. Jumwa, echoing the voices of Tana River leaders and locals, strongly opposed any move to alter county boundaries. She stated that the demarcations between Garissa and Tana River County are historically known and should remain intact. According to Jumwa, attempts to redraw them amount to incitement and offense under the law.
Kwamba watu wasijui wa wapi wanaingilia Tana River na wa huku nako wanaingilia Tana River. Maswala ya mipaka yanajulikana kwa sababu ramani ya nchi ya Kenya imetoa mipaka ya kila county. Kwa hivyo mwingine yoyote atakayekuwa anavamia ardhi ambayo si yake, huyo ni mchochezi na inatakikana hatua zilizowekwa kikatiba zikaweze kukabiliana naye.
Kitu kama hiyo tunaona ni uchokozi ya watu wa Garissa. Sisi tunakaa na amani na watu wa Garissa. Tafadhali waheshimu mpaka yetu. Wao wako Garissa na sisi tuko Tana River.
During the meeting, Rehema Hassan warned the leaders against provoking conflicts over boundaries that were set during the pre-colonial period. However, Hassan assured residents that the boundaries won't be altered, considering that all the previous regimes never did. In addition, the former women rep criticized cabinet secretaries for trying to mislead the president in the land dispute issue, calling it a bad move.
Hata wengine naona kwa mitandao wakijifanya wao ni serikali, walikuwa wapinzani wakati mimi nilikuwa nazunguka Kenya hii nzima kutafutia Rais William Samoei Ruto kura. Sasa wanajifanya ati wao ndio ni serikali sana, wanajipeleka kule wakisema rais atabadilisha mpaka. Let me assure you my people, William Samoei Ruto si mjinga, hata badilisha mpaka. Mukilala laleni, mukisinzia.
Galole Member of Parliament Said Heribaye joined the wave criticizing Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen for undermining the Tana River County leadership.
Hatuwezi kukubali madharau ya Waziri Murkomen pamoja na ofisa yake Nurdin Haji ili kusumbua watu wetu wa Kinakomba na jamhuri kwa jumla. Kama viongozi hiyo hatuwezi kukubali.
He affirmed that the leaders of Tana River County are united and will never allow an inch of Tana River County to be taken away. The boundary debate between Garissa and Tana River counties continue to stir strong sentiments among leaders and local communities. All eyes remain on the national leadership and how they will navigate this sensitive issue rooted in history, identity, and territorial integrity. Elimelech Modori, KUTV.
Thank you, Modori. Now that story takes us to a very fast break on the broadcast tonight. Stay with us.
Ni nguzo
na uso wa jamii. Kupanda shuka akawa tuzo, ukakamavu wake ukatii na kumfanya mwenye bidii. Kwa machozi na makeke akabaini jinsi ya kuwini. Huyu ni mwanamke ngangari kwa jinsi alivyo ng'ari. Mimi ni mwanamke mwake. Usikose kutazama kipindi cha mwanamke mwake nami Caroline Kimwele.
Access to knowledge, solution to unanswered questions.
Guidelines to pursuing your rights and repossessing your property, intellectual or material.
This and more only on Law Matters.
You are watching Weekend Live with Anyango Sylvia.
Welcome back. Now this is Weekend Live. We are live on YouTube at KUTV News Kenya. You can also engage with us on our social media platforms. That is on X at KUTV_Kenya, at Anyango Sylvia KE. Now, health experts have raised concerns about the increasing number of untreated fistula cases, citing home deliveries and limited access to quality maternal care as major contributors. During a free fistula treatment camp at the Kenya Medical Training College in Kisii, experts highlighted the urgent need to address the condition through education and awareness campaigns. They noted that many women suffer in silence due to the stigma associated with fistula, calling for greater community engagement to break these barriers.
Residents in Kisii County gathered at the Kenya Medical Training College for a free fistula treatment camp organized to provide life-saving procedures and raise awareness on a condition that continues to afflict thousands of women, often in silence. Experts say a lack of access to quality maternal care continues to drive home deliveries, leaving women vulnerable to complications such as obstetric fistula, a condition many in rural areas still know little about. The Kisii Center, a long-time champion for women's health, now has 11 trained fistula surgeons as of March 2025. They have successfully conducted 16,000 procedures.
Sasa nilikuwa na nini hiyo shida, nikikaa nikifikiria nikisema Mungu wangu, nani atatokea nisaidie na hii ugonjwa, na mimi sikujua hii ugonjwa ni ugonjwa gani.
While efforts by healthcare providers are helping restore hope, experts warn that stigma and misinformation remain major hurdles. They are now calling for increased education campaigns, especially in rural areas, to ensure women can access care before it is too late. Yvonne Kemuma, KUTV.
Now, a shortage of essential drugs in Siaya County's public hospitals is leaving patients vulnerable and forcing low-income families to seek costly alternatives. Speaking at a community baraza in Central Game Member of Parliament Elisha Odhiambo criticized the county government for what he termed as gross negligence in addressing healthcare needs. Odhiambo emphasized that the ongoing crisis in public hospitals is a clear indication of failed priorities, urging immediate intervention to prevent further loss of lives.
The Member of Parliament for Game constituency, Elisha Odhiambo, has sounded the alarm over the dire state of healthcare in Siaya County, citing a persistent shortage of essential drugs and medical supplies in public hospitals. He expressed concern that the crisis is endangering the lives of unprivileged residents, many of them who are forced to seek costly treatment in private facilities. Odhiambo, who addressed the public during a baraza at Congo Primary Grounds in Central Game after attending the funeral of late Mama Adongo, urged county leaders to take immediate action and criticized the Siaya County government for failing to uphold its commitment to healthcare delivery, especially after making its central theme of pre-election promises.
To Joseph, and she died because she was in Yala and Siaya Hospital and there was no medicine. I'm appealing to the leadership of Siaya. When you're being elected, you said your number one priority was to ensure that hospitals have drugs.
Additionally, Odhiambo urged Siaya Governor James Orengo to honor his campaign pledges and prioritize the improvement of healthcare services across the county. He emphasized the need for Governor Orengo to take a proactive role in resolving the crisis, stating that leadership should be felt through tangible service delivery in the healthcare sector.
I'm appealing to the governor. If you want to be remembered at all, you should be remembered because our hospitals have drugs for these ordinary people, not to die because there are no drugs in the hospitals.
The Member of Parliament directed a strong appeal to National Assembly Budget Committee Chair and Alego Usonga MP Samuel Atandi, calling him to advocate equitable national resource allocation that will benefit Siaya County.
Head of budget, the chairman of budget, Ndindi Nyoro, allocated Muranga, his constituency, 7 billion. I'm also appealing to the chairman of budget of Siaya, Samatandi. You must allocate in Siaya minimum 10 billion. Because Ndindi Nyoro was a chairman like you. You should also use your authority to ensure that our people benefit from your position.
Odhiambo remarks have amplified growing calls for immediate reforms in Siaya's healthcare systems. The Member of Parliament urged both county and national leaders to act swiftly, stressing that quality medical services are a basic right and must not be a privilege reserved only for those who can afford private care. Elimelek Mudori, KUTV.
Now that story was produced by our very own Lucy Mudhui. Now moving on, Senate Majority Whip Dr. Boni Khalwale has condemned the government's controversial decision to eliminate the national examination fee waiver, calling it a major setback for equitable education. Speaking in Kakamega County, Senator Khalwale warned the move risked disenfranchising children from poor families, turning basic education into a privilege for the wealthy. The Kakamega senator insisted that the burden of exam fees should only be placed on students in private schools, where parents are better positioned to shoulder the cost. Khalwale further emphasized that the government's role is to ensure access to education for all, not to create barriers that deepen inequality.
Kenya tumeamka kwa mshtuko leo. Tumesoma katika vyombo vya habari, tunaambiwa kwamba sasa watoto wetu ambao wanastahili kukalia mitihani ya kitaifa, serikali imependua ile free examination. Sasa president anasema kuanzia next year wazazi waanze kulipa examination fee. President William Ruto, my brother, listen to me, don't go there. Watu maskini, they will drop out of school. Ukihitaji wao walipe pesa ya mitihani, that one, no. Mr. President, sir, if you want children to pay examination fee, basi sawa, wacha watoto wa matajiri ambao wako private schools walipe, lakini watoto wa walalahoi in public schools wafanye mtihani for free.
Now, the Kenya Airports Authority, KAA, has raised safety concerns over the affordable housing project planned for Airport Ward in Changamwe, Mombasa County, citing its close proximity to Moi International Airport. During a public forum organized by the State Department of Housing, KA officials emphasized that all housing designs must strictly adhere to aviation regulations. Key among the concerns is compliance with building height limits, which authorities say is crucial to safeguarding both passengers and residents in case of emergencies. The Affordable Housing Initiative is part of government's drive to address housing shortages, but authorities stress that safety must remain a priority for the project's success.
So ndio unapata kwamba wakati wowote mnafanya mjengo yoyote, kuna zile stakabadhi ambazo mnatakikana kutupatia, the drawings, we look at them, we look at the zoning, kwa sababu sisi tunaangalia sana ya kwamba ndege zetu zikija zikuje kwa usalama. Na pia tunafuata, remember, ndege hizi za Kenya peke yake, pia tuna zile ndege za international, so tuko na standards zinaitwa ICAO standards ambazo tunafuata. Na kwa Kenya yetu tuko na watu ambao wanahakikisha huwa tunafuata haya.
Now, moving on to a different story, Jomvu Member of Parliament Badi Twalib has defended Kenya Ports Authority KPA Managing Director William Ruto against recent corruption allegations linked to procurement. Speaking during the disbursement of bursaries at Lijembe High School, Twalib lauded Ruto's dedication and affirmed his appointment was based on merit. He further highlighted KPA's contributions to the community, including the donation of 20 computers and the construction of 2 classrooms and a perimeter wall at Maritini Primary School. Twalib strongly condemned what he termed as cartels attempting to tarnish Ruto's reputation and derail his efforts.
William Ruto hakumchagua Captain Ruto kisiasa, alimchagua kimerit. Kwa hivyo tunataka tuambie makateli ambao walikuwa washazoea kupeleka poti kama chombo chao binafsi, safari hii wankula huu, kwa sababu yule watu wa kudanganya, yule hadanganyiki, amfanya kazi ndani ya poti, aijua poti nje ndani, na maadamu anatusaidia, atusaidie zaidi, tuandike vijana wetu watakavomaliza degree waandikwe kazi ndani ya port. Huo ndio utakuwa urafiki wa sawa sawa hapo.
Tonight, the English Premier League 2024-2025 season has finally come to an end, with all the 20 teams playing their final match today. Liverpool are this season's winners of the Premier League, with Arsenal coming second for yet another time. Man City are the third, with Chelsea grasping the fourth position. Leicester City, Ipswich Town and Southampton have been relegated from Premier League. Broadcast tonight. Thank you so much for being part of us. On behalf of the production team led by my producer Yvonne Kimuma and director Melton Conchella, thank you so much for staying with us this far and for choosing KUTV Weekend Live. Our sign language interpreter tonight is Brian Peru, and I'm Anyango Sylvia. Have a good night.